I got one of those new fancy gaming chairs. Even though it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing I own, I do feel supported, both physically and emotionally. So, welcome back. If you're joining me for the first time, hiya. I'm Victoria, and I'm a PhD student on a mission to make cool stuff. And also eventually get my PhD. So last time I said I was going to introduce you to my vintage sewing machine, who I've affectionately named Bertha, because oh my god, she's got some heft. Oh my god. She even comes with her own bomb-proof carrying case. Hello. If they were running nuclear tests, I'm sure anything small enough to fit inside would escape unscathed, like Indiana Jones in a refrigerator. To ensure she was up to the task for my very first sewing project, I took her to a local sewing machine store, because I don't know when the last time she was used. But also, and primarily, I wanted to know if there was something I needed to add to make buttonholes, because some of the things I want to make today include buttons. Well, friends, given that she is from 1954, the lady at the store listened to my plan and then told me it reminded her of when her father tried to teach her how to drive in a Jeep that had been used in the Korean War that was made for soldiers who were 6 feet tall. She was 5'2". So instead, I decided instead to make my bank account sad and bought a new one. So for my first ever sewing project, I'll be doing a retro-inspired skirt done in a dark beige poly cotton twill, nice and sturdy, and a black cotton corset vest. I finally actually got to go to a physical store to pick up my materials and discovered on my way that fall had in fact arrived. Oh, I see you. Oh, hello there. New carpet. Love what you've done with the place. Blessed be spooky season. So the inspiration for the outfit was everyone's favorite estranged princess, Briar Rose. I am almost 100% certain that I will absolutely be pricking myself at almost every stage of this project. Will I be plunged into an eternal slumber? We'll see. So please, join me on my living room rug while I cut, pin, and then cut again. And don't worry, the fabric has indeed been washed, dried, and pressed yesterday. And I did this all while watching Jeremy Clarkson try to herd sheep using a drone. Top Gear has changed a lot since I watched it last. Here are all of my pressed pattern pieces. There's the skirt, there's the vest. Let's do this. Okay, so after multiple attempts at reorganizing the pattern pieces, I think I've figured out something that I can do. So because I only have like this one sort of random piece, I think I'm gonna do one of the big skirt panels just as a single layer, and then try to cut out all the extra bits out of that single piece. So then the larger piece, I can get 2 of the larger skirt panels out of it, and then I will probably have enough for the second smaller skirt panel. Because this is a learning process, I will learn what kind of difference that makes. Fingers crossed. taco break, and I put on comfortable clothes. Let's get back to it. Good morning. I did not predict that I would run into as many problems as I did at just the cutting stage of the project. But here we are. What was I able to accomplish yesterday besides losing a few stray needles into my rug, which I will inevitably find later? Not a whole lot. So firstly, I ran into a few issues, even just laying out the pattern pieces onto the fabric that I bought. I also don't know if my scissors just aren't sharp enough, but I had to use quite a bit of force to cut through the fabric, which caused the fabric to shift around a little bit, which will become a problem later. After cutting out all of the skirt pieces and the interfacing and the waistband, I realized after the fact that there were actually pleat lines and darts that had to be marked onto the fabric. But at that point, I'd already removed all of the pattern pieces. So I thought to myself, I know, I'll just put them back on and they'll all fit perfectly. And that was a fantasy, because I put all the pattern pieces back onto the cutouts that I'd made and nothing fit properly. So I made the markings, but are they in the right spot? We'll see. Today the plan is to follow the instructions very carefully and see if I can't get this baby sewed together. So after many hiccups, one where I literally had to sort of make up how to do the waistband, as well as needing to add in basically like 2 new huge darts, because the waist turned out to be like 5 inches, 6 inches too big, because these front darts, I don't think I did correctly. I'm now at the stage where I can put the buttons on, and whether or not this is how you do buttons, I don't know. This seems to be working, so I will try the new buttonhole foot and let you know how that goes. Feeling very like prom night at the Shire in this outfit. She's done. She's covered in a lot of chalk marks, and the inside looks a bit of a mess. But other than that, she's good to go. And she buttons up quite nicely. And she fits, which, you know, that's a very important part. I just realized I was touching the mic. Now that the skirt portion of this project is done, next up we have the vest. For the vest, what I'm gonna do today is get the pattern pieces cut out. The fabric is gonna be pinned together. There was also bias tape that I needed to make. I don't know if I got enough fabric for that, but I cheated. You know what, I say I cheated, I don't actually know if this is gonna work, but I bought a whole lot of this. It's not technically bias tape, but it does look thick enough to fold over and use as bias tape. We'll see if that turns out. If not, I'll have to make a run to Lens Mills. Let's get pinning. Alright, all these babies are cut out. As you can see, I have marked with red thread the dots. I'm going to cut out the interfacing and then pin this baby together. Welcome to what I hope will be the last day of this project. So I got a lot done yesterday in terms of just putting the vest together. I got it all pinned so it looks like a vest. So I don't know if you can see, but the shape is correct. It seems really big in the shoulders. And this happened with the skirt too, where I put it on and it was just huge. So we're gonna mess with this. We're gonna get it to fit well before putting the binding on, and it becomes a vest. So I will see you in a second. All right, oh my God. So threw on the pinned vest experimentally, and it seems like okay, but there's a lot of space like here and here. So I don't know if I pinned it so that it's like too far this way, and I should actually pin it so that it comes more forward to sit more like here and here. So I'm gonna futz around with it and see if that changes anything, and hope that it does.
2,000 years later.
They're done. Final thoughts. I learned a lot about reading pattern pieces. So on the vest, I went a little off script. At the end there, once it started to take shape, I was like, oh, I can kind of figure this out without having to follow the instructions to a T. And then when it came to putting on the binding, there was definitely a way to do that, and it involved not sewing it together quite as early as I did. I guess I figured that because it was the size that I needed, that it would just fit me perfectly, but bodies are all different sizes. So making the garment exactly as it is instructed still isn't gonna guarantee a perfect fit. I still don't understand exactly how two-dimensional shapes create these three-dimensional garments. Overall, very pleased with this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the process of me learning to sew these two garments. If you enjoyed watching that, please consider sticking around and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.